Here is Nick Gutierrez with a roundup of the spring varsity playoffs.
Welcome back to the Local Live. I'm Nick Gutierrez. The spring high school playoffs have come to an end. Every team competing from Mamaroneck and Rhinebeck made themselves proud by the way their seasons played out. Let's take a look at how each team did in the playoffs, starting with the Rhinebeck baseball team. The Panthers were handed the 7th seed and had a cagey game against the Valhalla Vikings, which they won by a score of 1-0. Ace pitcher Connor Ligori was red hot from the mound, tossing a shutout, and was the player of the game. The Panthers' playoff dream came to an end in the second round, however, with a 3-2 10-inning defeat at the hands of Pleasantville. For the Mamaroneck Tigers, the playoffs ended up being a wild ride of emotions as they handily beat Yorktown in the 8-9 game to open up the postseason. That game followed with a seemingly impossible task of beating Class AA favorites RC Ketchum. The Tigers defied the odds and shut Ketchum out 4-0 thanks to their gunslinger Sacha Nambiar. The Tigers advanced all the way to the section final, where they ultimately fell to Clarkstown South. They can hold their heads high as they put together a fantastic run, and they'll be back next season even more fired up. Moving over to the softball diamond, the Panthers are primed to clinch the championship this year and were handed the 1 seed in the Class B bracket. They subdued a good Hastings team 9-4 before rolling Valhalla 7-1 in the semifinal. Their season ended in heartbreaking fashion in a defeat to Westlake in the finals by a score of 3-0. On the lacrosse field, the Lady Tigers were handed the 2 seed and were poised to go far in this year's postseason. In their opening bout against New Rochelle, the Tigers cruised to an 18-4 victory. They comfortably beat Mahopac as well by a 5-goal margin, but were unable to defeat North Rockland in the championship game, falling 12-7. For the boys team was the top seed in the Class A bracket, and they wanted to flex their muscles on their way to a championship. They cruised in their first game against New Rochelle, beating them 15-3. The Tigers were crowned champions after comfortably defeating Lakeland Panis 15-9. Their illustrious run would come to an end in their quest for a state title, as they were defeated by Niskayuna 14-13 in the regional finals. A bitter way to end the season, but the players can be content with ruling over the whole of Section 1 while they reload and prepare for another run at state champion next year. Also worth mentioning is the Mamaroneck softball team, who advanced to the section semifinals as the 4 seed. They fell to top-seeded John Jay East Fishkill 1-0 on a walk-off wild pitch. The Tigers returned several top players and should be in the hunt again next spring. And finally, a local state champion has been crowned. Mamaroneck sophomores Charlie Levison and Connor Aylett captured the Tigers' 3rd boys tennis doubles state title in the past 4 years. Charlie and Connor joined us earlier this week along with their coach, Tim Hooker. Let's hear from the newest local state champs.
It was kind of up and down. Like, we started with conferences, and we were expecting to win conferences, sectionals, and states, and start out strong. Like last year we won conferences and then lost sectionals, but this year we started out losing in conferences and placing 3rd. And I think that kind of helped us because it made us realize we need to work harder and stay more focused than last year when we won conferences. We had too much confidence going into sectionals and states.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that happened to us was probably losing in conferences. After we lost the first set, we changed sides, and it definitely made a big difference for the rest of our season. After we switched sides, we ended up winning the second set 6-1, and even though we lost the tiebreak, it was a huge shift in the way we played, and even though it was uncomfortable at first, we definitely adjusted, and the next time we played the people we lost to, we beat them 6-3, 7-6. And I don't know if we could have won states if we didn't switch sides, so it was kind of a blessing in disguise losing.
Yeah, for me it was exciting because Super Bowl Sunday, I went out and took my father out to dinner, and he wanted to know about the boys because he knew they were coming back. And I said, I think they have a chance to get out to states again, you know. And when we were doing tryouts and practice indoors in March, Connor and Charlie were warming up and then playing each other. And I just, on the drive home that night, I said, these guys should go all the way, you know, they should get to the finals. So very gratifying, you know.
That will do it for this week, season, and school year in local high school sports. For the Local Live, I'm Nick Gutierrez.